Angie Leon thought she had finally had a chance to start over. She had a new apartment, a new job, and plans to leave the past behind. But one quiet morning in Nampa, Idaho, everything she'd built collapsed in minutes after the system meant to protect her failed her at every turn. What happened next would shake law enforcement, the courts, and an entire community that realized too late they should have done more.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of The Lethal Library. I am Stephanie.
And I'm Dani.
And we're here again today to tell you another true crime story out of Idaho, out of Nampa, which is, near and dear to us.
The 2C.
Right in the 2C. Canyon County, baby. So I think I might remember this case, but I know that I don't know the details. And from what Dani says, it's going to make me very angry.
I think we're gonna have some mic shakes going on.
Might punch the mic. Apologies in advance.
And although the 2C is near and dear, you're gonna be pissed off at the 2C.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah.
I'm sure I know exactly what you're talking about. So,
sources used today are all articles from the Idaho Statesman.
Love you, Statesman.
That bitch, she's got my back.
We do have one update to share, which is that we will be taking the month of December off from publishing new episodes. Our schedules are pretty packed throughout that month, and it would be a challenge to get a new episode out weekly. So we will be returning with new episodes on Monday, January 5th. So mark your calendars for that. In the meantime, we will be sharing some of our favorite podcasts on our Facebook page throughout the month. So keep an eye there to maybe find a new favorite as well. Additionally, we want to give a trigger warning for this episode. We deal with a lot of tough subjects here on the podcast, domestic violence being one of the most triggering. And this case does have some very extreme instances of domestic violence. We will also be sharing some resources in this episode for anyone experiencing domestic violence. So please stay tuned for those. We want to thank you guys for listening, and we will see you on January 5th.
Angie Leon was 21 when she tried to start a new life. She rented a small apartment on Ivy Street in Nampa, close to Northwest Nazarene University, and began a job in admissions at Health South Treasure Valley Hospital in Boise. Friend says she was hopeful. She was divorcing her husband, Abel Ramirez Leon. She was focused on her children. A former coworker, Christina Reyes, lived near the apartment and said Angie would do anything for anyone. Reyes cried when she had learned what had happened. She said Angie had very little but worked hard and kept moving forward. Her children were her life.
Well, and I mean, she was young, only 21, more than one child, already had been married. And I remember when I was 21, I certainly did not have my shit together, and I didn't have kids.
Right.
And wasn't married. So she's got this job, sounds like a good job, nice small apartment, getting her life, rewriting her life, to be getting already divorced. I'm sure that was a huge deal that young.
A huge deal, and it needed to happen.
Really? Okay.
Angie had moved there because Abel had been in jail, and she thought the distance and secrecy could keep her safe. That safety did not last. Reyes said Angie lived in fear. Abel had broken into her home, followed her, and telephoned her constantly despite civil protection orders that required him to stay 300 yards away and not contact her.
And that's a story that we've heard again and again and again. And women, men too sometimes, but most women know this. If you're dealing with a character like this, that protection order doesn't mean shit.
Oh.
It does not mean shit. And they do not care.
No.
They do not care.
Not only does the person not care, but as we continue in the story, you're going to see that.
Police don't care. It's basically like, well, have they killed you yet though?
Right.
There's not urgency behind it, and we see it escalate and escalate and escalate, and I'm sure that that's where we're going.
Court records showed a long history of violence and drug use. In 2001, Abel pled guilty to misdemeanor domestic battery, but prosecutors had the case dismissed for reasons the records didn't explain.
He pled guilty? Why would it be dismissed? Why would it be Hello? Mm-hmm. Can someone explain how that's a thing? If you know, please reach out to us. The prosecution doesn't even have to do anything. He's pled guilty.
I think part of the, and I think part of the thing with that, and you're going to hear further in the story, is that there was so many charges against him that they would often bundle him up, and then it would go for, like, this is just, wait till you hear the mess. Wait till you hear it.
It's already a mess. I'm already pissed. You didn't lie. I'm pissed off already.
You.
We are.
I love you. I know you.
6 minutes in, maybe.
In June of 2001, he pled guilty to felony methamphetamine possession and received a withheld judgment. That's what it was.
A withheld judgment in Idaho? They usually do not fuck around with, especially not meth. I mean, even marijuana, they will just nail your ass to the wall. What's happening here?
In that deal, if he finished 3 years of probation without violations, the conviction would have disappeared.
A sweetheart deal.
Yeah. But instead, his behavior worsened.
With meth? No.
In October of 2002, Nampa police filed 8 cases that included 10 violations of protection orders and 3 charges of stalking. Most of those cases were dismissed. Only 2 counts of violating protection orders and 1 count of stalking remained. So out of 13 charges, he got 3.
All right. I know that sometimes you have to lessen or whatever, but I'm already not liking this. And it seems like, I mean, this is a very messy type criminal. Like, if you're getting caught up this many times, it's not like there's not evidence or something if you can be charged that many times. But what do I know?
In November 2002, officers arrested Abel again. That incident included 2 more violations of protection orders, possession of paraphernalia, resisting officers, fleeing police. That included a felony eluding charge after he drove 85 miles an hour in a 35-mile-an-hour zone.
So he's just fucking up shit everywhere. And usually police take it kind of personal once you start getting the resisting and fleeing, and, you know, you'll be targeted usually. So what's going on here?
He served at least 160 days in jail, but records never fully clarified what those days were. I think that those days were he was just waiting for the plea deal or whatever, you know, just awaiting trial or the plea deal or what.
Bail.
Yeah.
Or maybe who knows what the bail was, if it was a bail or whatever.
By April 23rd, 2003, Abel and prosecutors reached a plea bargain. That's what it was. They were waiting, you know. Nearly every charge except the felony eluding count was dismissed.
Why?
He pled guilty and walked out of the jail on his own recognizance to wait for sentencing in June.
Wonderful.
Have you ever heard of a thing? Pled guilty.
Is he like, I'm just spiraling right now because I'm like, is he like an informant? What the fuck? What?
Yeah, you can just take off. We'll see it when we're ready to send you to actual prison.
Yeah, you just come back when we ask you to. If that's not too much trouble. We'll see you in a little bit.
Judge Carrick ordered him to live with his mother on the north side of Nampa and to stay away from Angie. Police said they warned Angie that Abel had been released, and they offered extra patrols around her house.
As they should.
But the records show that no distress calls from her after April 23rd, except for one about reporting a lost item. There's some things that's going to come about that. Friends believe she was worn down by the system and tired of reporting violations that never seemed to matter.
Well, yeah, they all are just getting dismissed. I mean, he pled guilty to the domestic or whatever the hell that was, and nothing happened.
Yeah, she was burnt out, so she did not take
It had ground her down.
Yeah, she's just like, why am I even why do I even bother?
Nothing comes of it.
It's like complaining.
It's just more stress and more uprooting your life, and you know, I can see why someone would feel like that.
So she's like, don't even bother. Basically, like, I feel like when we get down to how frequent this was, she probably was just like, it doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
Extra patrols, what is that going to fucking do for me? The fucker is breaking into my house. He's showing up here.
Yeah.
And you guys he's still
this crazy meth head that eluded you and resisted you. Y'all didn't do shit about that either. Hello?
Yeah, she's just probably like, I'm fucking done. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I can totally see that.
That'd be like going to work and your coworker, let's just say they're saying something inappropriate, at work every day. And you're just like going to your manager and being like,
this is happening. This
happening. Person is saying inappropriate things and it makes me feel uncomfortable. And I'm talking like, maybe sexist or racist or something on that level. Like it's
a problem.
It's definitely a problem, right? And you go to your supervisor every week and nothing is done.
Nothing ever comes of it.
And then pretty soon you're just like,
why go?
Yeah, you're like, fuck.
It's just another disappointment and task and, having to
waste your energy explaining yourself. And you all know if you've ever called the cops or had to deal with the cops, it's not a 5-minute interaction. It's fucking exhausting. And she had 3 young children.
And it takes over your life of all the reporting and retelling your story and retelling your story again. And
to
now
3 different cops that are on the scene. You're just like, yeah, I would get burnt out. It would be really hard. It would be difficult.
Yeah.
Angie had already survived years of escalating abuse. She met Abel when they were both sophomores at Skyview High School. Her mother, Sylvia Flores, said Abel called at all hours and showed early signs of possessiveness and disrespect.
Yes, this sounds like it from the beginning was a not good situation. And that's what sucks is because, especially in high school, there's not classes about this of what are red flags. And so you might think that this is what having a boyfriend or girlfriend is. Mm-hmm. This is how people act and this is normal. And starting it off that early, so toxic, is just, you never know anything different. So you don't know that a relationship doesn't have to be that.
And her mother was, I don't know if I wrote this down or not, but her mother was like, instead of making it a bigger fight, because we all know how middle schoolers or young high schoolers can be, you're like, oh, you cannot see that person. Like, she's hoping she just grow out of it.
Yeah, because as soon as you say that, now my mom's against us, my dad's against us.
It's us against the world.
Drives them together even more. So it's such a tricky situation.
Even though mom saw these things and was like, this is not good, she also said, was like, but I didn't want make it a big deal. The bigger deal I've made
is then rebel.
Right. Right. So she was trying to manage that, but
I will say Heidi and Chelsea with Kim Fest or Kind Your Mind, they run a nonprofit called For You Network. And they have been going to schools to do presentations about red flags in relationships and what is normal behavior and what is not normal behavior for both boys and girls.
I love that.
Yes, just because if you guys that have been listening for a while, you may know this, but Heidi and Chelsea, my good friends, they lost their little sister to domestic violence in an incredibly tragic way. And she was very young as well. I think that she might have been 21. I'm not sure, but very young and did everything right to get out of the situation, and it's still not enough. So they go to schools and give a presentation to try to be like, just so you guys know,
it's not mom and dad telling you this guy or this gal is not healthy for you. We are
And this is
telling
not
you.
a normal relationship
Right.
thing that is like adults are putting up with, or that this is how it is if you're in the relationship. So I love that they're doing that. And I think that those types of things help make a difference because there's not a class for it, you know? Yeah, I think that the awareness is a lot more nowadays with social media. There's
Yeah.
a lot more people talking about it. But I mean, especially in this time, no one was talking. There was not easily attainable resources to learn about.
At such a young age,
No.
especially too. You're just like, oh.
And everyone just brushes it off as, oh, they're just kids crazy in love, puppy love. No, it can be very bad.
And it just starts off with being like her mother said, disrespectful by, I don't want that guy calling here at midnight. It's not okay that he just shows up over here.
He's being very possessive,
Yep.
you know?
By age 15, Angie was pregnant. Months after her daughter was born, Abel hit her and tried to force her and the infant into his car until Angie's brother intervened.
This is tragic. This is so imagining a 15-year-old with a baby getting hit. Like, this is just terrible.
But they did reconcile and they married in 1998. Angie became pregnant with her second child a month later. Abel worked at times, but was reportedly arrested on drug and domestic violence charges. He was. Angie tried to keep the family together, but she spent most of her marriage living with her parents because he was in and out of jail.
This is so sad.
In 2001, they again attempted to reconcile, only to separate again when Abel was arrested. He always said he would change. Don't they? Oh.
There is a TikTok of a gal that goes around asking older ladies, hey, I just want to ask, do men ever change? And all of like the seasoned older gals are like, absolutely not. No, they don't, and they don't, and they never do. Because they don't.
With this, especially with this type of possessive,
yes, if
cray.
You would have to go through an incredible amount of therapy and like classes to relearn how to interact in a relationship if it's already this bad.
She always tried to give him one more chance, though.
And, people are good-hearted. You got kids. There was love there, your high school sweetheart. You have this image of what you think it could be.
Yeah. In April of 2002, they had a third child. And Angie finally told Abel she did not want him in her life.
That's tough.
Abel refused to accept it. He knocked on her door nearly every morning, and he called late at night. When Sylvia came before dawn to drive her daughter to work, that's Angie's mom, Abel was sometimes already waiting at the doorstep.
When someone thinks they have a right to your life and your...
I feel like he felt like he owned her.
Yes. And that's just so wild to me, that how some people get it in their heads that, hey, I want to break up. I don't want to be with you anymore. And to say, nope. What? What do you mean no?
Yeah.
Like, it takes two people and they're like, no, we're just going to be in a relationship. That means that you're a whole step further into delusion at that point, that you think you can just be like, well, no, I don't agree.
Yeah, so we're not breaking up. Thank you.
What? Oh, I hate this.
In October 2002, Angie reported that Abel broke into her apartment and raped her.
Oh my God.
She began cooperating, but grew upset when detectives repeated questions she found painful.
And we know that a lot of times when things like this, some people don't believe in marital rape.
Yeah.
They think
and this was
you're married.
Over 20 years ago.
Yeah. And I'm sure that it was very insensitive or maybe even accusatory towards her, because we've seen it a million times. Yeah. And again, who wants to deal with that when you've just been through something that traumatic and you know that likely nothing's going to happen?
So she's just like, you know what? And I totally would. When you're trying to deal with something and function through something that no forward progress is being made, it's just easy
and
to
we all know how rape cases go. it's going to, the defense is going to try to do anything they can to humiliate you, to make you look like a terrible person. There's no like couth that
No.
will end sensitivity. It's literally a mudslinging fest. So you've been raped. Now do you want to be like publicly shamed and humiliated and
just the way
grilled?
that the detectives handled it,
Yeah.
it was already painful enough, and then it just made it worse. So she's just, But without her full participation, prosecutors couldn't bring the case. And
Even if there was full participation, would they have been able to? I mean, yes, of course it has to stop at that point, but I think we all know that there's many cases where people are participating to their absolute fullest and they don't think it's a good enough case or whatever, or, I am pissed.
She did secure a protection order, though, against Abel. And he ignored it.
Of course.
Nampa police records showed violation after violation. Angie described threats in her journals. Abel said he would break her window and kill her and then himself.
And I just will never understand this because even as him, does it sound like he's having fun? You're threatening to kill her and then yourself? Maybe they do get some type of sick pleasure from this, but it's just like, who has the fucking time to be acting this out of pocket? It just is wild to me.
And typically a narcissist pig like this guy wouldn't have killed himself.
No, oh no.
When Angie asked, what about the children? When he would threaten to do that.
They don't give a shit.
He told her they were better off without her.
Sorry, my jaw just dropped. Just that a 21-year-old is going through this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'd have the mental capacity to handle shit like this now at my age. This is terrible.
He stole her purse on another break-in and continued to appear near her home.
Just a pest, a constant pest. That's also dangerous. Completely dangerous. Ugh.
Angie moved again in January of 2003. She got a post office box and tried to start over. In March, she got that job in Boise and planned to move there permanently. That was her goal. She hoped to start divorce proceedings while Abel was serving time because he was in jail for that eluding police officer gig.
I bet that's the safest she felt the whole time, just knowing that he can't be on her fucking doorstep every day.
But her mother said Angie couldn't afford to move that far. She had 3 children, limited education, no car, and very little money. But still, she tried. So mom's helping out a lot here. Mom was driving her to work, helping with the children.
Being her support system.
Yeah, she's trying to get on her feet. When Abel pled guilty to felony eluding on April 23rd, Angie assumed he would remain in custody until sentencing and made plans accordingly. The news that he was released shook her.
Yeah, because now your safety is gone.
And she didn't even tell the police her new address. She didn't want anybody to know where she was. She did not attend mandatory classes that would have given her an aware alarm tied directly to law enforcement.
Why does she have to go to classes to get that?
Yep.
She's
like, I have I have
3
3 kids. I'm going to work.
How many protection orders? I mean, why would you need to go to a class?
What's an alarm going to do?
Listen, I can appreciate if they want to try to give more awareness and whatever. But having that as a requirement to get these things, no, it should just be, and if you'd like to learn more, we have this class for you. She's got 3 kids and is trying to make it work with this absolute psychopath. And they're like, well, if you don't attend their class, you don't get the special alarm. So,
Angie told her mother she was just tired of dealing with the police.
Yeah, I mean, because you feel like, especially with how she was treated after her rape, I mean, I'm sorry, that probably sticks with you.
3 days after his release, while he's waiting his sentencing hearing.
Yeah, just come back for your sentencing. We'll be all good.
Abel saw Angie and her brothers at a restaurant. The brothers turned him away, but he began calling her from payphones. Because I'm assuming that they have And shame on you, this mutual friend or person who gave it up. You know that happened for him to get her phone number.
Yeah, someone did it. Yeah.
Somebody gave it to her, and they were married, so they probably had family and blah blah blah. You know, who knows? It could have been a cousin, maybe his mother. You know, a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. She would not answer, and she kept a journal, and she just said she was too tired to report each violation
Because it doesn't
matter.
Change anything. No. Nothing happens.
Wasted energy.
Yeah.
Wasted energy. By 7:30 a.m. on May 19th, she was dead. That morning, Sylvia arrived to take Angie to work. She rang the doorbell and sensed something was wrong. She heard Abel inside. She moved carefully, trying not to provoke him. Together, Angie and her got the 3 children out to the car. Angie hurried towards the passenger side. Abel came out, hit her, and pulled her away from the car. Sylvia ran to the other side of the car, and Abel pointed a gun at her.
Oh, my God.
The children were crying. Angie screamed, "Mom, take the kids. Mom, take the kids." Abel told Sylvia, quote, "Just give me 10 minutes." Sylvia begged him not to hurt her daughter. She said Angie knew he would. Sylvia drove to the complex entrance and called police at 7:28 a.m. Neighbors called a few minutes later to report gunshots.
This is like literally
I cried. Because she's like, "Just get my kids out of here, Mom."
Trying to get the kids out so that he
and Mom's like
kids, you know,
picking the kids over her daughter. Like, I got to get like
it's an impossible choice, and you know, you just try to do what you think is the best in the moment. This fucking sucks.
I did cry while reading this.
Oh, I might need a break. I don't know how much more of this I can hear.
All this crying bullshit today.
I know, we're just crying all day.
Let me see where we're at. Because we can go down, have a cigarette, and take a little break. I just want to see. Yeah.
This is like literally one of the worst stories we've done.
No, I fucking bawled and bawled and bawled and bawled and bawled. I wish you could hear.
Kids had to see this. Oh, this is awful.
Let's go take a smoke break, sis. Because that was hard.
Abuse thrives in silence, and breaking that silence is the first step to safety. The National Domestic Violence Hotline is available 24/7. Call 1-800-799-SAFE or 7233, or text START to 88788. You can also chat at thehotline.org. Advocates can help safety plan with you, even if you're not ready to leave. If you're worried that your device is being monitored, it may be safest to call. Teens and young adults can also contact Love is Respect at 866-331-9474 or text Love Is to 22522. For Native American and Alaska Native survivors, Strong Hearts Native Helpline offers culturally specific 24/7 support at 844-7-NATIVE. If you or someone near you is in immediate danger, please call 911. You deserve safety.
Abel fled on foot. Inside the apartment, police found Angie dead from multiple gunshot wounds in the girls' bedroom. Sylvia collapsed at the scene while speaking to officers. I can't even imagine. The manhunt began immediately. Police described Abel as 5'9", about 180 pounds, with brown hair, brown eyes, and tattoos on his neck, left hand, and upper left arm. He wore a dark blue trench coat, a light blue shirt, and dark pants, and that he was armed and dangerous.
Yeah.
Officers combed Ivy Street, the surrounding blocks, and the homes of Abel's relatives. They searched the Greyhound bus station and several area stores. Nampa police brought in a dog team and contacted law enforcement in Oregon, Nebraska, and Mexico. They tracked old cases involving Abel's brothers. So they were trying to
Look for any possible place he could be trying to flee to.
And I want to go back and just tell you a little bit about his brothers. So while they were checking all of those relatives and his brothers, they were chasing leads. One older brother, Felipe, had shot another brother in 2000 and disappeared. And there was still an active warrant for him.
Oh my God.
But they believed that they would have better luck catching Abel than his brother. Leaving no stone unturned, said Lieutenant Craig Kingsbury. So they were...
Now we're leaving no stone unturned, which I appreciate, but again, the lack of urgency before this happens. And I know that, you know, as law enforcement, there's only so much that you can do, but I mean, I just don't understand how this wasn't an ironclad case of just the sheer amount of violations and interactions with police. And again, typically when you flee or resist the police, they get a personal vendetta about you. So where was that energy? Like,
very low energy.
Frustrating.
As police searched, Canyon County prosecutor Dave Young held a press conference. He admitted that Abel was released because of poor judgment and because key criminal records were missing from the file. He said the deputy prosecutor who handled the case did not have access to Abel's domestic violence history.
Okay. Why? How? It sounds like this should have been a well-known dude to law enforcement and prosecution. What led to that? Like, someone needs to lose their job, or multiple people, over this. Is that a spoiler? Does someone lose their job?
Eventually, yeah. Because, just so you know, the prosecuting attorney is an elected position.
Yeah. Like, to protect people and go after criminals. And it seems like these cases are just served up on a platter of, here's 75 different possible infractions. Can we get him on something or something?
No, one.
Or he pled guilty and we just were like, oh, thanks for pleading guilty.
We'll see.
I guess, you know what? Never mind. Never mind? What?
Young acknowledged systematic failure and promised policy changes. He said all felony files would now include arrest reports. Plea bargains releasing defendants before sentencing would require top-level approval. Defendants who pled guilty would no longer be released on their own recognizance.
Yeah. Great idea. And I love how he's like, yes, there was a problem with judgment. Yes, from the judge. Like,
but residents were furious.
As they should be. This is our community, and I am furious.
Editorials accused the prosecutor's office of failing to protect Angie.
Yup.
They pointed out that Abel had been charged with 18 domestic violence-related counts since 2001 and violated protection orders 25 times.
So, this poor young woman, 18 documented domestic violence. Imagine all of the times where it didn't escalate to where the cops were called, or she couldn't call the cops, or it calmed down. And so in looking out for her best interests of, hey, is it going to piss him off more if I report this? Like, she was battered constantly. This is just so awful.
They also noted that Angie was killed less than a month after the plea agreement freed him until his sentencing. Mm-hmm. It's like, what were you fucking thinking? But the police said they worked day and night looking for Abel. They secured a white car he had ridden in and questioned people suspected of hiding him. Witnesses claimed they saw him in stores and near the bus station. And he did God, I don't know if I wrote this
Who
down.
is hiding him?
Yeah.
Who is...
People.
I'm sorry.
There is absolutely
If it was my best friend, some guy, and he kills his spouse, and there's no he said, she said, or me.
It's on the fucking news.
Yeah. You... Disgusting is all I can say.
And I don't know if I wrote this down. He did actually, they had a bus ticket in his name and they were watching, but he never showed up. Nearly 2 weeks later on June 1st, Abel Leon walked into downtown Marsing and waved down a sheriff's deputy. Deputy Dennis Pepley said Abel appeared thin and tired. Abel told him he wanted to straighten things out and that the community had the wrong idea. He claimed he had been living on the streets for days and denied being near Walters Ferry area where police had searched for him. He was unarmed. So let me tell you, they spotted a car out there and also spotted some of his friends in the Walters Ferry area. And they all denied it, but they were bringing him food and shit. They were out there tending to their little murdering friend. And I think that it got too hot after the questioning by the police, because the police questioned him out there, like, what are you doing out here, kind of thing. And I just think they're like, sorry, bro. And just
I can't keep
doing this, man.
It's getting too hot.
Too hot.
Shouldn't have ever fucking done it in the first place.
Exactly.
Like, how gross is that? I do, side note, Detective Pepley, that's who handled my grandpa's four-wheeler or side-by-side
No
case
shit.
that I was in contact with and everything.
shit.
Yeah. Because
Okay.
we thought that it was like in that area from
Yeah.
like tips we had gotten and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's
been doing it a long time. This is 03.
yeah. And that he was involved in, that he's the one that got flagged down.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yo, see me?
Hey.
I'm wanted. Fucking dick. Okay. Sylvia felt relief wash over her after Abel turned.
Yeah, because you don't know, like, what's to say he's not going to come after you as a witness and that I mean, he has no boundaries, none at
Zero.
all.
25 protection in 2 years. It's like every couple weeks.
And those are the ones that are getting reported. Again, it's the torment that she went through is just deplorable. I cannot believe that this young woman was subjected to this much in so few years of life. It's just an absolute tragedy. Like, there's no other way to describe it.
Sylvia said, I am thrilled. I'm not afraid he'll come around the corner.
Yeah.
It's been a nightmare. Can you imagine? Because she had those babies.
And he pointed the gun at her.
Yeah. In the months after Angie's death, Canyon County found itself under a microscope.
As you should, with this level of fucking incompetence.
The prosecutor's office, already strained and understaffed, faced sharp criticism for the decisions that allowed Abel Leon to walk out of jail despite a violent record that should have kept him behind bars.
Incredibly violent and incredibly persistent, happening all the time.
It wasn't just one mistake, but a chain of them, scattered across plea bargains, missing arrest reports, and a routine disregard for the danger that Angie had repeatedly reported.
Yeah.
As the criminal case moved forward, Angie's death ignited a grassroots movement. This is so badass.
Yeah.
Terry Ottens, a Canyon County resident, heard the news about Angie on the radio. She began to cry and pictured being forced to save her grandchildren while her daughter was killed.
Yeah. An impossible choice.
She decided she would not let this become another forgotten story. She organized a meeting of concerned citizens. 67 people showed up, and 17 of those became a core group. They dug through public records, interviewed police, prosecutors, victims, and probation officers, and attended court proceedings. Canyon County Court Watch and the Angie Leon Citizens Task Force formed those efforts.
And this is inspiring.
These people, and most of them were women, were literally sitting in court every day watching the judicial system work through these domestic violence cases, and they were fucking taking notes.
Taking them to task. And this is, I love this because it's like, well, if no one else is going to fucking help, these are supposed to be
Thanks
our
for your
resources.
fucking words, Prosecutor Young. Fuck you. We want action.
And they were going to hold them to account.
For a whole fucking year, they did this stuff, and they had a fantastic report to let the cocksuckers know how bad they suck.
Yeah, because I mean, what happens when they say, "Oh, the Canyon County was under a microscope"? Yeah, it's usually the police investigating themselves, and we all know how that goes. So they said, "Absolutely not. We're gonna go ahead and step in." So good for them. This is so
Terry Ottens is a
inspiring.
badass.
Yeah.
A year later, the group released a 69-page report detailing systematic failures in domestic violence cases. Okay.
Like, look, it's happening everywhere, all the time.
These are the numbers.
I don't know if I want to hear them, but go.
They found 59 contacts between Abel and law enforcement over 5 years. 35 were domestic violence related, 25 were protection order violations, and only 3 of those were prosecuted.
Hello?
Right?
Why on earth? Like, that's why my mind went to, and this is conspiracy theory and not, that's just the only logical explanation to me of why a police department would not be wanting to absolutely lock this person up. Why was this not happening?
I love this task group. I love them. They analyzed 57 domestic violence arrests in Nampa, Caldwell, and Canyon County between June of 2002 and June of 2003. Only 4 resulted in felony charges out of 57. 41 were pled to lower charges. 8
Misdemeanors?
8 were never charged. The report concluded that the system consistently downgraded domestic violence cases, even when the victims had serious injuries.
Which means you also have serious evidence. Like, what an absolute failure. This is one of those moments, and I know we've talked about it before, Dani, where we love where we live. Both of us do. Mm-hmm. I love Nampa. I love my community. I love our state. But this is just another reason that we care, and it's just fucking disappointing.
Yeah. And Terry Ottens and this group.
Why was this the culture? Right? What in the fuck?
That a judge couldn't see all of those arrests and contact. That should be taken into context when somebody's released on their own recognizance. Like, dude, he's not a good person.
Yeah, he was dangerous enough that you've kept him in jail
for 106 days until he pleaded out, and then you're going to let him go?
Yeah, what's changed?
Go stay at your mom's house. Stay away from Angie.
Better not go and bother Angie.
Yeah,
even though you have done that at he has built the case against him for them. They haven't had to do shit. He's already built the case.
Let me also remind you, he had a felony, right? He was not a legal resident, and he should have been deported.
Really? Okay.
So INS failed as well. Just slipped through the cracks.
Yeah.
They let him go.
There were so many avenues that they could have used.
Yep. And that's just the only reason I'm saying that is just another failure of the system, because he should have technically been deported.
If we didn't want to deal with it as us, Idaho, why weren't they like, hey, y'all, this is your case? A more clear-cut solution.
Yeah. The federal government even failed because he should have been, after that conviction where he was a felon, he should have, but it wasn't like he was, they knew where he was at. They just,
clearly, the 59 interactions with police. How were the police not? Because listen,
That's literally once a month.
I've had friends that get pulled when I was younger, constantly not having a license and no insurance, not getting into wrecks or driving recklessly. But once they would get them on that, they couldn't go anywhere, even with someone else driving or walking or whatever.
No,
like they were having police holding a grudge for nonviolent things. Where was the like passion on their part of this is the guy that tried to fight me when I tried to arrest him, and having a little bit more to take care of this? Where was that?
Nampa Police Chief Curtis Homer embraced the findings of the task force. He told the audience his own daughter had been severely beaten in the past. He promised more training and collaboration and supported efforts to build a family justice center. So they had a big news conference about this, reporting their findings. And that's when the Nampa police chief was like, yeah.
Which is what you should do at that point.
Prosecutor Young said he appreciated the feedback but disagreed with parts of the report.
I don't give a fuck. Young.
He repeated that he had made policy changes after Angie's death. Advocates said the changes were too small and inconsistently implemented. And it was true.
No, and listen, this is one of those things where when something like this happens, yes, you made policy changes after Angie was murdered. She's gone. The whole family was subjected to this trauma for years. Her poor children had to be part of this last day bullshit.
And who knows what they saw.
So it clearly seems like this advocacy group had their ducks in a row and like really lined it out. If you disagree personally, I think you maybe just keep that shit to yourself. Because at this point, it just looks like, why are we being defensive?
He's being very defensive. And he will.
And that is the culture of, most law enforcement that we know. And I think they were mad because it wasn't them investigating themselves. It wasn't Jim Bob, who you've known for 20 years in the force, doing the investigation.
Writing up a nice report.
Saying, gosh, look at all these people are doing. They had the numbers. Mm-hmm. Numbers don't lie. Facts don't lie. So, Young, I'm sorry. Not a fan.
I will say that Young eventually, he didn't lose his job in the 2004 election. I think it was still kind of new. He kept it. But in the 2008, it was a big thing of his opponent. I can't remember who his opponent was. I apologize. But it was brought up.
They pounced on it.
Yeah.
Because obviously, why would
you? Yeah. You're a horrible prosecutor, a horrible leader.
Yeah, why did this happen?
Yeah. So he did lose his job in the election in 2008. So for what that's worth, a little too late, but the Idaho legislature took notice to this. Way to go, task group.
Thank you.
Was it task force?
I think it was task force. Yeah.
What? You know what I'm saying. Lawmakers toughened the state's stalking law. House Bill 668 created a first-degree stalking charge for offenders who violated protection orders, had serious prior offenses, or targeted minors. It carried up to 5 years in prison and a $10,000 fine. Legislators cited Angie's case as one of the reasons the law was needed.
Good. I am glad that something...
Because that meth charge would have been a serious prior offense.
Yeah, and Idaho usually is with drugs, especially, even marijuana. People are doing time, big time, for personal amounts of marijuana in Idaho. Not dealing.
For real.
It truly. So
what's the fine now? Just
$300
for paraphernalia even, right?
I think so. Or a small amount, like tiny amount.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Way to go, Idaho. All right. On August 1st, 2003, so we're back in court.
Mm-hmm.
Abel pled not guilty to first-degree murder, first-degree kidnapping, and aggravated assault with a firearm. The charges carried a possible death sentence or life in prison. Angie's family cried.
Yeah.
They're just like, why is he pleading? I think they were hoping for not having a trial.
Yeah, he pled guilty to a domestic violence and got nothing. So you think maybe he wanted to swing that again?
Sylvia said the children struggled intensely.
I'm sure.
They had nightmares and asked for their mother. Flores and Angie's father took time off work to care for them.
She was their, main support, and her mom.
And her mom and Angie's mom and dad weren't together, and her dad lived in Ontario. Mm-hmm. And basically, her death brought about this family just like getting back together.
Reconciling.
Yeah, and getting back together. So she had, family members on dad's side, the mom's side, and everybody was just
coming together.
Everybody to come together.
This is a lot like Kim's story.
Sorry, sis.
Makes me so mad.
I'm sorry, sis. I wasn't trying to make you cry.
No, it's okay.
But good things. We
have to talk about it.
And there's good things that evolved. It's so sad that it has to take a tragedy like this to make change. But if you can look at everything, and this guy is just a fucking D-bag. He's such a fucking
absolute piece of shit.
Right. So, but something came out of it. It was not a waste. So to have an actual bill,
ignited the community
and a task force of these strong women that said, motherfucker, we're tattling on you.
Absolutely not. And I just appreciate that so much.
They also created a charity golf tournament that raised money for the kids' future.
Good.
Yeah. And it was a big deal. And I think I saw it at least going up to like 5 years after her death. Really? They were still doing it. Yeah. It wasn't a one-time thing. So that's awesome. So Mama's mad, and she should be.
Yeah.
Flores filed tort claims accusing the prosecutor's office of failing to warn Angie and failing to oppose Abel's release. If they would have made one phone call to her, like, hey, we're thinking about just releasing him.
Maybe don't do that.
Then she could have said, have you looked at his shit? This is what the big problem was, is that
they say they didn't know or have access.
The judge didn't know.
How?
The judge didn't know because it wasn't required.
The prosecutor didn't bring it.
It wasn't required to have their arrest reports or anything. I think that it was just their convictions.
Hello, context. Is that not the type of thing you bring up in court? Context. And I'm so glad that changes have been made because of this, because there's just no excuse.
Sylvia alleged that Angie was not notified of her right to object to the plea agreement or of any hearing date changes.
Yeah, that might be important.
Yeah.
It might be her one
time where he can't, where her saying her
means something.
And she can actually go and talk to the judge.
Yeah.
Her claims turned into a federal lawsuit in early 2005.
Get them.
She alleged that the Canyon County Prosecutor's Office mishandled domestic violence cases in general, lacked proper training, and referred to Angie dismissively when she sought help. That's probably right. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's very clear in what we've talked about.
Her attorney said poor policies created a known danger for Angie. So one of the things that, and I don't know the exact law, but you cannot sue a prosecutor.
Why?
So they had to really dig deep. So this is why they're saying.
They had to be creative with it.
Right. You can't.
It's almost like a wrongful death or something. Yeah.
You can't handle it like that. So they had to really get deep and
find
say,
an avenue to do
and repeat. It's not just her case, but repeated. They mishandled domestic violence cases. They weren't training their.
She was raped and they were handling it poorly. And with all of the other data that you should have, knowing that of what a fucking pest this guy is, I don't know why any detective would be treating someone in a way that they would be like, you know what, just fucking forget it. You have all the evidence. It 59 times in 2 years. You should know who this guy is.
So the courts allowed part of the lawsuit to move forward, which was a huge win.
Yeah.
Judge Lynn Windmill ruled that the equal protection claim could not proceed and that Canyon County and Prosecutor Dave Young were not immune from being sued over their policies, which is huge. Meanwhile, Abel's criminal case approached trial. But on August 18th, 2004, Abel Leon pled guilty to first-degree murder in an Alford plea.
Loser way to do it, but at least for the family's sake of not having to go through trial and everything, whatever. I mean, I say I'll take it. It's not my place to say that, but at least it's something.
He said he would not admit guilt, but accepted that evidence would convict him. Because you did it.
Hello?
Prosecutors dropped the death penalty and the kidnapping and assault charges. Dave Young said Abel changed his plea so that his 6-year-old son would not have to testify. Oh, how gracious of you.
Wow, what a great parent.
Go fuck yourself.
Amazing. Give him an award, Parent of the Year. Like, go fuck yourself, Abel.
But Angie's family supported the deal. I think they really wanted closure.
And honestly, it's to not have to fight and go back and forth.
Or have those...
Because she would be smeared. That's what a defense is going to do.
Yep.
How was it her fault? What was she doing? Whatever they can pull up and dig up.
And then to have those babies relive that moment and tell that in front. No, fucked up. So you're still a cocksucker, but I'm glad those babies didn't have to testify.
Yeah.
Angie's brother Ricky said that the family had been praying for a resolution that would spare the children further trauma.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
At sentencing, Flores told the judge that her grandson was terrified of Abel, so Angie's son. The children, she said, had trouble sleeping and struggled deeply during school events and milestones.
I bet, because even before he killed her, they know he's dangerous. He's showing
Utter
up at the
fucking
house,
chaos. Yeah.
And mom has to be like, no, we can't let dad in. Just the complete repeated trauma that he inflicted on her and these children is wild.
Counselor Wanda Newton showed the court the children's drawings. Angie's son drew tombstones, a gun, blood, and his mother being killed by his father. Because it's traumatic. These poor fucking babies.
It's a life-altering event, and just... I can't imagine going through that at my age, and then thinking of it as a kid, of seeing something like that is hell.
Her 5-year-old daughter drew black marks and said they were her dad's heart. Nathan said the children would need therapy for the rest of their lives.
My heart goes out to them. This is just...
Angie's father described his grief as the loss of an entire piece of their family. Quote, "My whole family has been murdered," he said.
It's such a huge scar. And that, again, she was doing everything right. And it's not to say that even if you aren't taking actions to leave an abusive partner that, you would deserve any blame. But she was really trying so hard. And
she was excited he was in jail because she just saw a path fucking forward.
I bet it was such a relief while he was in jail. Imagine a pest showing up at your fucking door every day. And now that's not happening. And you can just easily take your kids to daycare and mom can come pick you up.
And there's a future.
And then it's ripped out from under you so that he can be out before he's sentenced. Just the logic of that. Like, why are we letting them out if they're guilty? What? It's just so fucking stupid.
Angie's father also said he was furious that Abel would not take responsibility because he's a pussy. I hope he has a very large cellmate that beats his ass every day. Sorry. Sorry.
I am not sorry about wanting for that either, because I don't think that
why don't you be tortured every day?
He inflicted fucking terror on her for years.
Torture, terror.
And the children.
The mental and it wasn't just physical abuse, the mental, oh my God. I can't even.
For it to have this many reports, I know I've already said this, but it was happening in so many other ways that weren't big enough to get reported or just weren't able to be reported. A fucking menace. An absolute menace. Rot.
Abel insisted he took the plea deal only to protect his children from testifying. Oh, you're such a man. Oh.
Because someone else did it. Like, oh, you had a big defense, but you didn't want to bring the kids in and defend yourself because you didn't do it.
Oh, here's his
Shut
defense.
up.
This is why he did the offered plea. He claimed he was at work during the murder and only heard about it on the news.
Oh, really?
But that's why he was hiding out at Walter's Ferry? Shut the fuck up.
And that's why Sylvia was there and witnessed it, and all your kids witnessed you pointing a gun? Wow.
Oh,
wow.
Now Sylvia's the liar.
And all the kids. Yes,
How
they were
convenient
plotting.
for you.
Yeah, okay. Shut the fuck up. What an absolute dipshit.
Prosecutor Wolf said Abel's employer confirmed he was not working that day.
Oh, look at that. I was at work. Yeah, an easily provable alibi that your work's not going to ride for you like your weird-ass friends.
Oh, no, this gets better. Police interviews showed that Abel called his sister for a ride after the shooting. He, walked up to, the Jack in the Box or something and called her from a payphone. Abel said he was sad that the community saw him as violent.
Pardon the fuck?
Delusional.
The fuck? I am saddened that the community views me as violent after my 59 interactions of my violence and my violence against police were publicized. Shut the fuck up. What?
I'm kind of glad he's in jail right now, Steph, because I think you might murder him.
I think that if he was out, I'm sorry, they've already got a task force and they're on the do good side. I think if he was out and about, there would be an alternate reality task force of yeah, we're going to be bad man, and take care of this. And I hope that he is being taken care of very well in prison. I hope that he is just given every kindness and warm hug, and that everyone is really wrapping their arms around him in support around his neck.
I was waiting for the drink. Psychologist Richard Cervantes testified for the defense and described cultural and emotional issues in Abel's upbringing.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Cultural. What culture is this the norm?
Well, he is from Mexico, and so they were saying that he grew up where kind of women were a possession, whatever bullshit. Don't care. Be a fucking human being, you D-bag. But the prosecutors countered, saying that none of his emotional issues explained the long pattern of violence or
terror. He was a terrorist to her.
Judge James Morfitt called the case the most severe domestic violence case he had ever seen. He cited Abel's refusal to accept responsibility, the devastating impact on the children, and his long history of abuse. He sentenced that motherfucker to life in prison without the possibility of parole.
Rot. Thank you.
Can we get
a judge with some sense? Hey, wait. Before they sentenced him, they let him out just for a bit on his own.
Right.
Because, just while you're being sentenced.
Go stay with your mom.
You better just stay at your mom's house.
And stay away from those kids. And we'll see you back here in about 6 weeks, okay?
Don't you do anything naughty.
Fucking dick. But guess what, Mama? Her lawsuit continued. Good. And in August of 2006, it settled for $925,000.
Triple it and give it to her.
I'll take 14 more of those right now.
Fantastic. Give her 14 more of them.
Flores said she had mixed emotions, but wanted to help raise the children and
Yeah.
continue pushing for change. This helped
Give
for
them some type of benefit, some type of leg
They
up.
deserve
They
it.
lost everything.
Yeah, because of the lack of the
public services
Yeah.
that are supposed we pay for to protect us.
So-
yes,
and you know
give
what?
her all the money.
I'm telling you, if Angie was 21, Sylvia was still working. That's like me trying to
Everyone trying to come together and protect her.
She financially, what a blessing to be able for her to raising look, I'm old, and if I all of a sudden had custody of three young kids,
We didn't plan for this.
no. So, and there'll be some left over, I'm sure, for the kids for college education.
College for homes. We
Yeah.
give them.
Let's go.
They deserve something because this was an absolute systemic failure on Nampa's part, on Canyon County's part.
Angie's case transformed Canyon County. The Court Watch Task Force continued reporting on domestic violence cases. Hope's Door Shelter opened in Caldwell in 2005 and created a room in Angie's honor. The community held that annual golf tournament in her name, and a bench outside Mercy Medical Center bore her photo next to white roses, her favorite flower. They have torn down Mercy Medical. I wonder if that's still there.
Or if they put it somewhere else.
Right.
Or,
I'd be curious.
I hope they did.
I don't think they probably tore it down. I'll have to jet through there and see.
Right.
And Flores became an advocate. Go, mama, go. She worked full-time and raised Angie's 3 children. She answered calls from mothers and daughters looking for help. And task force leader Terry Otten said Flores never turned away anyone.
And I think there's a lot to be said about that, because if you've been through something this awful, it's hard to hear other stories, it's triggering. It punches you right in the gut.
Right.
And so, I think there's a lot to be said for people that...
How strong is her mama?
Yeah.
And fuck yeah, Terry Ottens. You get to...
This whole task force,
I fucking love it.
so
And
badass.
there's not as much... I read all of these articles. These women were like...
They had a fire lit and did it. And that's, you know what? When there's a failure on the level that's supposed to support us, that this is why being a part of your community and finding things that you're passionate about are so fucking important.
People remembered Angie. They remembered May 19th. They remembered how close she came to escaping that marriage. At the end of 2002 and early 2003, she had been the happiest she'd been in years. Abel was in jail on the eluding charge.
She was motivated and
And
ready
she
to go.
believed he would serve a 10-year sentence.
Yeah.
And she dreamed of attending Idaho State University and becoming a pharmacist. And within that 10 years, by the time Abel got out of jail, she would have been hightailed it out of here. She would have been gone.
What? She was stolen from her family and from the community and from her kids. To be that motivated and still going through this is just... Dani and I talked about this when we had our little break of... I would not have handled it as well as her. No way.
she's
not at
strong.
21, not at my present age.
Right.
Of her motivation to keep going and keep trying to build a life. It's incredible. And so what a loss.
So her mom gave an interview 5 years after Angie's death. And she talked a little bit more in depth about some of the things that around that time. She said that when Abel got out of jail in 2003, that Angie felt dread.
Yeah, I bet.
They were driving to a family funeral, and she told her mother she wanted to be cremated and that she wanted Sylvia to raise her children.
She's completely aware of how fucking dangerous
How bad?
he
Yep,
is.
absolutely. Flora said she tried to steer the conversation away. You're being...
But she's trying to be realistic, and
Yeah.
it is realistic. This is what really
She
happened.
knew. And she told her
it's
mother,
terrible.
if Abel gets out, I know he's going to kill me.
Oh my God.
Flora said the grief was the deepest in the morning after Angie's death. She said she thinks of other parents who lose children and remembers that morning feeling of disbelief. She sometimes avoids the news because the empathy is so overwhelming. And she's talking about,
And she knows exactly what people are going through.
right, and she's taking those phone calls. Like Terry Otten said, she's taking those phone calls. She's helping others, even though her own struggle, because she said she did
It's painful.
just wake up and just, this didn't happen, and just
Right.
absolutely
It'd be so
disbelief.
much easier to try to block it all out and pretend that that wasn't part of your life.
But Angie's children kept Sylvia moving.
Good.
They stopped formal counseling, but they still talk about their mother. And Flores is watching for signs of trauma, anything that was triggering. She said that they became their own small therapy group and that she would never
And
cry in
each
front of
other.
those babies.
Oh.
She said she was raising them the way Angie would want. She said Angie was a devoted mother who loved being home with her children. She kept Angie's baby books that she had created for her children exactly how they were. Hospital wristbands, footprints, photographs.
Oh.
People remembered Angie because she embodied a painful truth. She tried to start over. She tried to
She
follow the
was.
rules. She tried to survive within a system that kept letting her abuser walk free. Her death forced a community to confront its failures. It sparked a movement, a shelter, and a legacy of reform. Flora said that helping others helped her survive. She believed Angie would want that.
Yeah.
She said when she faced a hard decision, she asked herself, what would Angie do?
Oh. You have to give me a moment. I'm so pissed that this happened.
This is a rough one
Yeah.
because this isn't it's not some random burglar, some random crime.
Yeah, or where someone gets in a bar fight or, whatever.
This was systematic torture and abuse that the system let happen, which makes it more tragic.
Yeah. So what I'll say is I'm so glad that positive things came about this. And that's the way to move forward, really. That's it's so right in line with Kim Vest's stuff. So I'm so sorry to her family and her kids.
I hope that they are thriving,
Yeah.
that they found strength in what their mother went through and are kicking the world's ass.
Yeah.
And Sylvia, you're a badass mom. Badass mom.
And Terry, you're a badass too. This is
Just a random
inspiring.
community member saying this is not
saying,
right.
it stops with me.
Yep.
We're gonna come together. So thank you guys. So yeah, like we said, tough episode. Thank you guys for listening. Please get involved
Yeah.
in your community.
See what can happen.
Yeah.
See
However
what
you
can
want.
happen. Look at the change. There was a bill introduced into
And we know how
laws.
slow legal things work and how complicated they are. And so finding the inspiration to do that is huge. So get involved with causes that you care about. It's incredibly rewarding. And it's the only thing that really makes change.
It really, yep.
The Canyon County would have never made these changes
No.
if these people were not pushing and pushing and pushing.
And watching them,
Yes.
fucking
So,
eyeballing them.
be the eyes, be the ears, be the change. If you have any info or you want to email us questions, concerns, thelethalibrary@gmail.com. You can follow us on TikTok, Facebook, wherever you want. That's all I got, Danny. Anything else?
No, I'm going to go drink about it.
Yeah, I'm going to drink about it too. 10-4 Rubber Ducky.
Fuck yeah.
On this episode of the Lethal Library, we talked about Angie Leon, and it's been a tragic reminder of how domestic violence devastates families and communities. In the face of such loss, healing and connection are essential. That's why Dani and I really want to share the work of For You Network and their annual event, KimFest. KimFest began as a memorial for Kimberly Larson, who was murdered in a domestic assault in 2018. Her family transformed grief into action, creating a festival that honors lives lost to tragedy, whether through domestic violence, suicide, addiction, mental health struggles, accidents, or illness. Each year, KimFest brings our community together with live entertainment, local artisans, delicious foods, tons of activities for kids, and most importantly, resources for healing. It's a free, family-friendly event where you can connect with support groups, classes, and seminars offered by For You Network and its partners year-round. Their mission is simple but powerful: to minimize the impact of trauma, prevent violence, and help people find a path forward. Healing isn't one size fits all. For You Network meets people where they are, guiding them toward compassionate connections and transformation. KimFest is more than a festival. It's a movement to kind your mind, choosing kindness over judgment, blame, and shame. To learn more, get involved, or support their mission, visit For You Network and join the community at KimFest. Together, we can honor those we've lost and build a culture of healing and nonviolence. For You Network, for healing, for connection, for all of us. To get connected, please visit kimfest.com. That's KYMFest.com. There are links to donate, volunteer, or become a vendor for the festival. You can also email kindyourmindidaho@gmail.com. Again, thank you all for listening.